We've got a stormy Wednesday on the way for parts of the country and a fairly mild Labour weekend. Hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks very much for joining us. We are tracking yet another spring blast of gales. This is the Midnight Tonight animated wind map, and you can see this very strong blast of wind coming in. Gale force winds, over 120 km/h gusts in exposed areas. Certainly the mountains and ranges will help fuel those bigger gusts. So this wind is coming through Auckland in particular, a bit of a wind tunnel, just like Cook Strait and Fovo Strait, the Auckland area, vulnerable to a big, strong westerly change. And then there's another part to this as well. We've got a developing low. Now, around central parts of New Zealand tonight, that encourages the southerly change, which will be heading northwards on Wednesday. Now, that also drives in snow around the mountains of the South Island, and in fact, it might even get down to just 300 or 400 metres overnight tonight. The good news is, Wednesday afternoon's milder, so it's not going to linger very long, but up in the mountains, 0.5 metre of snow, that's a fair amount for this time of the year. So let's take a look at Wednesday. There's quite a lot going on. So the big, strong westerly winds of tonight and Wednesday morning, they get pushed out to sea by this big southerly coming in on Wednesday. That's all to do with the low that's deepening further just off our east coast. So there's two lots of wind, that big westerly sweeping through overnight and Wednesday morning, and then the strong developing southerly behind it. Now that will affect a number of different places. It depends on where you are. So to make sense of that and what it means for you, go to ruralweather.co.nz. There's more weather data on that site than any other website in the world for your local place. So go and take a look at it. You can drill down on the wind gusts and sustained winds and rainfall and all of that. Very detailed information, and it will make a lot of sense to you if you're a bit confused about what this all means for you and where you live. Now in the south, a cold start, like I say, but as the day wears on, high pressure way off to the northwest encourages a slightly warmer afternoon on the way, so that's good news, and it starts to dry out as well. Now, let's go to Thursday because we've got another colder change back into the south, so another southerly burst, and in fact, a colder afternoon on the way for Thursday than Wednesday will be down on the South Island. So you've got a change coming back in there, more rain, more snow up in the hills and ranges, and a bit of a bleak day in Southland with that cold wind blowing in there. In the North Island, it is another windy day, but the winds will gradually start to fade back, especially towards nighttime, and more showers continuing. So we've got a very rough couple of days. Expect power cuts here and there. And also with these strong gale force winds and heavy rain and low cloud, I'd imagine there'll be a few flight delays, might even be some regional cancellations as a result of those small propeller type planes and turboprops being sort of limited with that kind of weather. So just keep up to date with the airline and airport websites. I can't tell you much more than just that sort of gut instinct that the winds will be strong enough to cause a few issues, but hard to really know exactly where and when. So that's all down to the pilots and the airlines at the time of flying. Let's go to the end of the week now, Friday. Heading into the long weekend, high pressure is next door. Still a bit windy though, you know, the winds aren't completely dying away, but the worst of the winds fade away by Thursday evening, but it's still a bit blustery on Friday in many areas in the north, and still a bit showery around the eastern side and a bit cooler around eastern New Zealand. But let's get into the weekend. We've got two maps to show you. Saturday, high pressure to the north. Look at all the nor'westers. So down here in the south where we're talking right now about snow showers tonight, by Saturday, you've got highs down here in the south, Southland and Otago, up around the low 20s in some places. So it bounces back, springs back, if you like. Further north, you've still got a bit of a cooler sou'wester on Saturday in the very north, but by Sunday, those winds get warmer as the nor'westers kick in. They are windy around parts of Canterbury. That will push your temperatures up further into the 20s, and then a bit of a wet change and a bit of a cooler change coming in for Southland, because it looks as though Labour Day Monday will be a little colder and wetter in the south and fairly dry and mild in the north, although maybe a little bit windier and cloudier over on that western side. So tomorrow we'll be tracking the storm that's moving through, but we'll also be taking a longer look at Labour weekend. So make sure you take a look at our Wednesday video. That is all from me. Make sure you tie down those trampolines. We'll see you again around lunchtime Wednesday.